Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So today we are on the Zentangle Project Pack 25 Day 2. As you can see, I have all the materials here. So for Day 2, I'm going to use all the things. If you're following along at home and don't have the project pack, you don't need to have all these things. You can get by with just the Micron. If you have a white gel, great. If not, I mean, you don't have to do it exactly like how I'm going to do it, but you would need a white gel for that. But basics, your microns and your pencils, you can follow along. You're gonna have to change a couple things. But other than that, you'll be fine. Like this project pack makes it very easy if you have limited supplies. So let me move these off to the side here. We'll be picking these up later. I'm gonna move my brush and my water to the side. Again, we'll pick that up in a little bit. So go ahead, start with your gratitude. Definitely thankful for having the opportunity to share my process with you guys. All right, so I'm gonna grab this 08. We're gonna start with this 08 first today. So the main tangle we're going to use for this is Tangle. It's a tangle that, I mean, it's a pretty basic one. I'm trying to think. I haven't done it on any of my earlier videos. I did something similar with, I believe it's called Drawings, and but it's very similar. And I'm going to change this up. If you've been following the Zentangle Project Pack official videos, I'm going to change mine up a little bit. So Rick, I believe, does 5 petals. I'm going to do 4. And you'll see, you'll understand why I wanted to change it up a little bit. And I think I'm actually going to turn this back to this kind of diamond shape. And so first thing we're going to want to do is we're just going to place down a circle in the middle as best you can. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. One of the reasons why I love Zentangle and everything about Zentangle is because nothing has to be perfect. Mistakes are beautiful. It's part of the process. This is just fun. It's relaxing. So first we're going to go ahead and we're going to do an S shape. And we're going to probably come out to about here. Each of these S shapes, again, I'm going to do 4. So I'm going to do 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 there. Don't have to be perfect. Don't have to be exactly the same size. Just try to do it as close as you can. Again, does not have to be perfect. So we have 1 S. Turn your tile if you have a tile. I'm going to come around again. Do S. All right. Now, next step, what we're going to want to do is we're going to come from this point up here and we're going to come here. So you can kind of do it midway. I would say the chunkier on this, the better. Again, stay to the middle or maybe a little out because you're going to want these C shapes to be, you're going to want this petal kind of chunky. So come out and around. Turn your tile if you can. And out and around. All right, so next up what we're gonna do is we are gonna do a very chunky aura right in this middle part, okay? So I'm gonna start right about here. Just kind of follow that up. And I like to come back here and follow it around. Just kind of bring it together. We're going to do that for each of these shapes. Just a chunky aura. All right, so the next step that we're going to do is, since this Zen pack is all about, you know, drawing behind, we're going to take this shape and you just going to kind of follow it around, and then obviously not touching, but we're going to follow this right here and keep coming around. And then since this is here, we're following this around, dropping our pin and coming to close. And then we're going to do that same for each of these. So follow it around and come back. Follow it around and come back. Follow it around. All right, next I'm gonna pick up, just to make it easier, if you want to keep your 08 you can, but I am gonna actually pick up the 01 because I think it's just gonna be a little bit easier. I know, definitely easy for myself. Again, do what works for you. And we're gonna do a small aura on this inside and then the inside for this one. So again, just taking your time. We're gonna follow that up. And I'm gonna do that on the side. Again, you don't have to rush it. All right, and then just go ahead and repeat that process for each of these. Also, don't forget to do the inside. I did forget on mine. All right, next what we're gonna do is pick up if you have the black watercolor pencil, go ahead and use that. If you do not have the black watercolor pencil, just use a black micron. You could probably even use a gray if you have the gray micron. I know I had one of these before the project pack, and so you could actually use that if you happen to have that handy. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick a petal and go ahead and fill this in with the black watercolor pencil. If you have, black in your watercolor set, this probably would work fine too. Is just go in and we're gonna lay down some dark color. If you're not feeling all of this, gray tones everywhere, pick up a color. Add some color to it. I know this is all about, the dimensions and going behind, the holly-ball kind of technique. If you're not familiar with it, the holly-ball, I believe holly-ball was actually one of my first tangles that I did a recording on. I'll leave a link if you want to check that out. If you're familiar with it, you don't have to. Not a big deal, but if you want to watch it or want to get more familiar with holly-ball techniques, that's starting at the basics. That's a really good video. And then make sure you come around, because obviously this comes around here, and we're going to want to get that in here. I'm starting with this watercolor first because I think in my mind this is gonna work out better if we do this first, because this will also give it some extra time to dry. If if you're working with non-micron pens, also give yourself a little bit of extra time for the ink to dry on your paper, because it can very easily smudge, especially with how intricate everything is. But we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna do this side also, just go ahead and put that watercolor pencil down, or you can use black ink to give it a little bit of pop. And I picked the one opposite. Don't feel like you have to do that. If you feel like your design would be cooler if the two spaces were next to each other instead of across from each other, do what makes you happy. It's always the first thing I'm going to say is do what makes you happy. You don't always have to do it exactly like I do, but if you want to, play with this technique, you very much can. I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. If you are, I please invite you to like and subscribe. It helps the channel. I definitely appreciate it. And I know anyone else who's, in the art video field on YouTube would very much appreciate any of the love and support that you can give the channels. I know YouTube is not, known for pushing our content, as it's probably not the most high revenue dollar generating videos. out there, but you know what? We like our videos, and I know I love to watch all the different art videos as much as I can on YouTube. So again, that's just to say, please make sure, like, other artists, not just myself, you definitely like and subscribe to their videos just to help, you know, push them out there with the YouTube algorithms. All right, just laying a little bit more down because I can't help myself. All right, so next, we'll put that to the side. Don't think we're gonna need that anymore. Pick up your brush and then just get a little bit of water. Here's mine. Just get a little bit of water, not too much. Definitely don't want to soak it. And then ever so lightly, just come in and activate all that watercolor material that you just put down. And again, take your time. I know it's, some of this is very, very, we're getting in the crevices. Look at that color, that's beautiful right there. All right, so go ahead and do that with this side and that side. All right, so we're gonna let that dry a little bit, and we're gonna jump over to the sides that have not been colored in now, and that's gonna help give this extra time to dry. So I am gonna use, I think I'm gonna use my 01 for this. And we're gonna fill in this area with orbs. So let's see, I'm gonna start down here, and this is gonna be perfect with this orb right in the middle. So you're gonna come around, and you wanna make your orb the size of the width of the area you're working with. And you're gonna want to leave a little extra space because again, we're playing with drawing behind. So you're gonna have your little orbs behind each other. And again, we're gonna wanna play with the sizing on these to kind of reflect the space they're in. So you're gonna notice, and especially depending on the size, if your size fluctuates, like you can see that like this is a little thicker, but it gets a little thinner. I think it's a nice technique just to add a little bit of variance of your orbs, so they're just not all one shape, one size. Now here, I'm gonna go ahead and make a big orb. That one ended up a little wonky, but that's okay. And then orbs are gonna get a little small again for this tiny inset. And then we're gonna come here and we're gonna just repeat this process. And I'm gonna let these orbs be on top. So it's just a chain of orbs. And so that would go behind, and then we'd have another one coming up and around here. And again, just kind of working your way around the space. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and pick up on this side. And do our big one to fill up the space where they come together. All right. Oh, look how cool that's looking already. All right, so next, if you have the gray 05, you can use this. If you don't have this, just continue on with the 01. But we're gonna fill in these little spaces in between the orbs with the gray. So go ahead and just go around and fill all these little spaces in. All right, I am loving of that is coming out. Of course, I have to keep fussing. I need to stop fussing. All right, so as you can see, the gray just kind of gives it a softer fill-in, other than, you know, when you use the black micron, it's very, well, it's very dark. So next what we want to do is pick up a jelly roll. I have the 10 from the pack. If you have an 8, that works perfectly fine. You're just going to want to double check that, you know, this is dry before you use your ink on it. And I'm going to use a little scratch piece of paper just to make sure my pen is activated and I don't have any little clumps on the side. All right, and so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do what we did here with the orbs, and we're going to add more orbs. All right, so next we are going to pull out our Zentangle pencil, or just if you have an HB, again, you don't have to have exactly this. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a little bit of light shading where the orbs touch. Let's see, put a little bit down here, but we're going to do a little something extra with that in a second. So yeah, what you just want to do is come through and just give these a little bit of a shadow to this. All right, next, we're gonna pull out, let's see, Tortillon, and just go ahead and kind of pull that shadow out. And you can go gentle with this. You don't have to press really hard, just to move that graphite around and get that pretty little shadow in there. So go ahead and do that around all your orbs. All right. Oh, I love how this is already coming together. So next I'm gonna pull out my, what they're calling the layout pencil, which is just softer graphite. So if you don't have the project pack, if you have a soft pencil, pull that out now. You will want a nice sharp tip to it. I sharpened mine before this because I knew I was gonna need to get into small places. And remember, you want to go in and do this by the side. Do not go straight down into the paper. If you don't have this and you don't have any soft pencils, you can pull back out your regular HB, and you're just add a little bit more graphite. You can darken it up that way. Again, don't press into your paper trying to get that darker graphite color, because you're gonna put indents in your paper and you don't want to do that. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this on this because we've already got this mid-tone gray already laid down. Just go through and add a little bit more shadow. Again, just follow around that orb. So also what we're going to want to do is take your layout pencil, the dark one, or again, if you just have your HB Zentangle pencil, just add a little bit extra graphite just to the center, and we're gonna pop this just a little bit more. And we're gonna do it on these inside pieces right here. So again, just kind of following the curve of the petal, and you'll have a little bit of your center orb. Just adding that extra bit of graphite in there. That'll really help make it pop, and then add a little bit extra to your under pieces. This will just help make the top pieces pop a little bit more. All right, and then we want to take our tortillon and go ahead and just kind of pull out the shadows from these little white orbs, and then you want to pull out the pencil mark from your deeper shadows down here too. And feel free to go back if you want these shadows to be even darker, just add a little bit more graphite, and just kind of slowly pull it out. Don't go, too fast, too far. It's easier to control it if you build it up slowly and just kind of slowly move it out. All right, I love how this is coming out. All right, and a final step, if you want to, again, you don't have to if you don't want to. If you want to pick up your white charcoal, and if you just want to add a little bit of a highlight, just to give these a little bit of a dimension to them, go ahead. All right, and then I think I'm just gonna add a little bit of graphite to the center. This is really stark white in here, so just give it a little bit of shadow, a little bit of flare. kind of round that out. Yeah, that is looking good. Oh, that turned out beautiful. All right, and then last thing we want to do is add our chop. So this is just my 01. Let's see, I think I'll add that maybe right here next to this little petal right here. Just my little swan chop right here. I love how this turned out with all the different gray shades and going behind. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer any questions you guys have. I hope you guys had fun, and I will see you guys for the day 3. Thanks.